What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson Voles from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special interview with Eric Shellhouse from Bat Boys Baseball. Eric, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. And how's your day going, man?
Dude, it's going really well. Thank you so much for having me. Love the energy when I was watching your clips and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to chat ball.
Dude, I'm super excited to have you on, and I know you're used to asking the questions, so I'm glad to ask you some questions about your content journey career. And I want to start off before that, before even, graduating from JMU. A lot of people, when they want to get into the content creation side of things relating to sports, they grew up playing baseball. When did you realize, hey, I want to do this for a full-time career?
That's a fire question off the start. I think, honestly, I remember growing up, I would always write into the Washington Post, like the kids run the show day. And I would apply every year and I wouldn't get it. And then it was up to like a certain age, I think like 12 or 13. And so the last year I was eligible, I applied for the grounds crew. And they chose me for that. And I was so excited and kind of just like fell in love with the game of baseball that day. I was also like skipping a house league game or a travel game, something going on. And I just got to be down on the field for the national anthem, help with the water and stuff. But I was like, if I can find my way to just be in the ballpark every single day and find a way to work in baseball, that's where I was like, I'm good. That'll be it.
I mean, honestly, a great way to start out in the sports world. The grounds crew, I worked for a couple minor league teams when I was like 16, 17 as grounds crew as well. So very similar path there. But I want to ask you this because you started college back in 2020 and you also built Bat Boys baseball around the era with Liam in that sort of aspect. And I know 2020 was a big thing for podcasts and YouTube and with the whole lockdown. What was the startup with Bat Boys baseball and how did that come to be for the fans who don't know?
Yeah, so me and Liam were both seniors when COVID hit, so we lost our senior seasons of baseball, and I just stayed up all night watching YouTube, and I'm sure you'll recognize the names Zach Hampel, Dodger Films, just like all the classics of those YouTube baseball YouTube days. I'm like, if they can find a way to kind of do that every day, and that's just their living or that's what they do, that's sort of when I realized maybe we could do it too. We could both be YouTubers. So I texted him and we had done fan pages before for the Nationals, just for the league as a whole, but nothing that really involved our faces being on camera quite as much. And so I texted him, I was like, we should try making this new page that's totally geared towards just like exploring the personalities of baseball, talking to the players when we get inside, filming and documenting our experiences as fans. And he's like, dude, I'm so on board that. He's like, I was kind of thinking the same thing the other day. And so we just hit the ground running and we'd go to, we couldn't really go to games that summer, but we went to empty fields and did trick shots, anything that came to mind. And then we just tore up and down the East Coast, like checking out new minor league stadiums that we'd never been to growing up as kids.
I think that's absolutely awesome. Having a best friend like that, to do baseball videos with. Personally, my best friend's not a sports fan. I've tried for years to get him to do something with me. But it's really cool to see how you started from, doing backyard trick shots to minor league stadiums and now the bigger picture, which relates to my next question. When was the breakout moment for you guys as a duo for YouTube? What was that breakout moment when going to a major league park or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, from a YouTube perspective, I think it's hard to pinpoint because, like, right now, YouTube is the biggest thing that we've been pushing hard on and sort of trying to grow and have some consistency there, twice a month or once a month with our uploads. And it was really the World Baseball Classic in 2023, I think, that set us onto a different trajectory. We had been doing the fan vlogs and the interviews the summer before, but we hadn't really crossed into a threshold of virality yet, if you will. And being at the World Baseball Classic allowed us to talk to so many different players from so many different countries with so many different backgrounds and perspectives that we reached so many new audiences. And I think that was the first time, like throughout the entire season, people would come up to us even August, September later on and they'd say, hey, I just saw your video from the World Baseball Classic, or I discovered you at the World Baseball Classic. And that's kind of when we were like, wow, this is reaching people that we never knew it would touch.
I mean, it's cool that you have international fan bases now from the Dominican Republic to Venezuela, everything surrounding the WBC Mexico, for example. And again, I love what you guys do. I mean, I I wake up and I see the next new video for Bat Boys baseball, and I turn it on my TV every morning before I went to class. I can't do that now, but I mean, I truly enjoyed it. But I do want to ask you because you've created a lot of great videos. Again, WBC, you spent a week with the Los Angeles Dodgers. What was the greatest video or favorite video that you've done throughout your entire content creation journey?
That's such a good question. Gosh, that's such a good question. I don't know. There's so many good ones on YouTube. I almost want to go and check our feed. I think either of the two times that we went down to the Dominican Republic, both of those are some of my favorite YouTube videos. And when I went to Japan with my friend Mo, I didn't make that trip with Liam, but I think the aspects of those videos that me and Liam always talk about is like we can look back on that for the rest of our lives and show that trip, to our kids or to our families one day, and it's just up there forever, which is the coolest part about those experiences we get to go on. I think kind of as a whole or like a stretch that we had, I was so proud of the World Series we put together last year, just being able to cover all 7 games. We obviously did the World Series the year before, but it didn't go to 7 games. And just doing the back and forth and the travel with all of it really just made it feel, I don't know, realer this time is the right word, but such a dramatic World Series this past year, and being there for Game 7 made it that much better.
Well, my roommate's a Toronto Blue Jays fan, and I watched the entire World Series with him, and he was so upset that inches from being a World Series champion. So, yeah, I mean, truly, I feel that, and it's really cool you're being a part of pivotal moments in baseball, like the All-Star Game, like the World Series. I want to ask you specifically about the 2024 All-Star Game week because you got to do so many cool things relating to that. How is being a part of All-Star Week from a creator's perspective, not just from a fan perspective, like for you?
It was really sick. It was also my first time in the city there. Well, we had been there. We've been to Houston. Like I said, my first time at the Ranger Stadium and kind of checking out that whole area and that vibe. So that was really fun, just doing touristy stuff. But from a standpoint, it was also super fun. We went to the like red carpet media for the first time for the celeb softball game and just getting to see the players show up and everything. And we had heard about it the year before, but we didn't really attend it quite as heavily. We kind of watched from a distance, and getting like our feet into that area in 2024 was super cool. But they just had a lot of cool events going on, Major League Baseball, that is, that made our jobs a lot easier to just be able to walk around the streets and see the fanfare really all out and about within the city. As you know, like when it's in your city, it's decorating the entire city from the airports to the billboards on the street. It's just the talk of the town. So it's really cool.
I mean, it's really cool. You got to experience that again from a creator's perspective at the All-Star game. I think MLB All-Star Week is the greatest All-Star week in all of sports. I mean, NFL Pro Bowl, it's all right. NBA All-Star, yeah, it's all right. But MLB All-Star Week, you have the Home Run Derby, and that's what I truly love to watch. So I want to ask you some fun questions. Now, these are a little bit rapid fire, and I actually want to ask you a question I asked Austin Kleschka back in November. If you could have a dream MLB player, I know you've done a lot of collaborations, but one you haven't done with yet for a full day of video filming, who would that be and why?
For me, it's definitely got to be Bryce Harper. I mean, that was just my guy growing up. For sure, Bryce. I mean, I was like the biggest Nationals fans growing up, and was very hurt and betrayed when he left the Nationals. And I was definitely worked up about it. Might even call me a hater for a second, but it was also right at the time where I kind of turned into the field of working for Bat Boys and working in baseball media, and got to interview him for the first time a few years later, and realized that he really is the incredible guy that I came to know and love in DC, and to see him doing his thing in Philadelphia is super exciting all these years after. So I always wish him the best, and hope the Phillies can make something happen this year. They're due. They're due.
I mean, I personally love Bryce Harper. I live in the Atlanta area, so a lot of Braves fans feel a little different about Bryce Harper. But personally, I try to model my game after him as much as possible. So, I love the answer there. Now, I pulled up, I know I told you a little bit that I was going to ask you a Nationals related question. Everybody says 2026 is the new 2016. I have the 2016 opening day starting lineup for the Washington Nationals. Can you name the 1 through 9?
The 2016.
Yes.
Okay. This is the opening. This is the true opener.
Opening day, yes.
Drew opener. Okay. Okay, sorry. I might need the positions, but I need to know who are we playing really quickly. I guess I don't even know who we're playing. Who's the center field has to be leading off, right?
Yes.
Okay, 2016 would be Ben Revere.
Yes.
Okay. Second, would be Rendon, I think. Probably hits third. No. Who's what position?
Third base, yeah.
Third base. Okay, so 2016. Ugh. It's not Escobar, and it's not Anthony Rendon, is it?
It's Anthony Rendon.
It's
Yes, it
Rendon.
is.
Okay, it's
It is
32 then.
Rendon. Now number three, first base.
That's got to be Ryan Zimmerman.
It is Zimmerman. Number four, we got second base.
Daniel Murphy. That's definitely
Yeah,
Murphy. Oh, yeah.
yes, it is Daniel Murphy. Number five, catcher.
That's Wilson Ramos. Yeah. Wilson Ramos.
It,
Buffalo in the
it,
five all day.
yeah, it is Ramos. And now we have the shortstop.
Shortstop, I think, is Danny Espinosa that
It,
season.
it, it
Okay.
is Danny Espinosa. Yeah.
That's my
Left
guy
field.
too. I was gonna say, besides Bryce, Espy's the guy.
Yeah,
Left field, it's Jason Worth, I think.
it is Jason Worth. Right field.
Okay. And this is the eight spot, right?
This is the seven spot. I had switched
This is
it.
the seven spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I still need to dice around here. Okay, because I got shortstop. Ooh, four cat. Oh. Hmm.
I think this might be an obvious answer.
And is it Bryce?
It is Bryce Harper.
Down in the seven. Okay, Bryce is in the seven.
And then pitcher.
Okay, there's definitely a left-hander on the bump for the other team. That'd be Scherzer.
It is Scherzer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the hardest one there would have probably been Ben Revere. I think Ben Revere probably would have been the hardest one there. But
Who hit ninth? Was it Scherzer? Or was I just jumping around with the lineup?
I think he was jumping around with the lineup.
Okay,
But
I was gonna
Scherzer
say it
did
was
hit
the
nine.
jumping around of the
Yeah.
lineup because I was like,
Um,
wait.
Scherzer did hit nine. Actually, fun fact, Danny Espinosa was the very first MLB player I ever interviewed. So yeah,
No way.
yeah.
He's one of my favorites. I drew a mural. I should say drew. I traced a mural, like a picture I printed of Vespi hitting, and I sent it to him, and it came back to me like years later. So, if Danny, if you're listening, thank you for that. And yeah, he did open my message once when we first reached out with Bat Boys, and I was like, that's one of my guys. Can never forget us.
Yeah, Danny Espinosa is a really cool guy. I've had him on a couple times. He now coaches youth baseball in California with his son's team. So yeah, that's really yeah. Danny Espinosa is cool. Now I have a bunch of rapid fire questions for you. All right, go to stadium food.
It's got to be a hot dog, specifically the crab hot dog in Baltimore. The one in DC is good, but Baltimore does like two versions, and they're both just the best in the league.
Now I'm not going to ask you my next rapid fire question, but favorite food you've ever had? I'm a big foodie. Favorite food you ever had throughout all MLB stadiums?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, the churro dog in Phoenix is pretty difficult to beat. Just know I'm gonna miss that when I leave. Um, Anything with mambo sauce that you can get at Nats Park is pretty good, and they finally brought back Hard Times Cafe, which made me really happy. Um, I'm trying to think if anyone like takes the cake with the helmet nachos though. I might have to just go with the Nats, the hometown bias for the helmet nachos, but helmet nachos is kind of like my go-to.
Personally, I've only been to five MLB stadiums, and I love Busch Stadium's beer dog, and that's just because of Budweiser beer dog, and you know that's a personal favorite for me. But I
Noting
do. All right,
that.
next rapid fire question. All right, favorite sports creator, YouTuber you watched growing up?
Oh, it's probably a tie. Uh, I'd say Dodger films. I'd say Bobby Crosby just because what he did kind of bridging the fans to the players and doing all that with BP and then the game highlights was so unique and different, I think, compared to like what other baseball content creators were doing at the time. And then finally getting to meet Bobby last year when I was living in California, he is just the coolest and most genuine guy. Like he was incredible. Like getting to meet him face to face just a couple of times and valued the conversation. I felt like that we were having so much so heavily and was really engaged with the conversation. And so just to finally meet him in person was really cool. But I think growing up, like he really made the viewers feel like they were there in the room with you, and I loved that so much.
I mean, personally, I was a big fan of the Dodgers aviation enthusiast. Growing up, I always wanted to be a part of one of those home run derbies. It was really cool. I mean, I would say that takes the cake for me as well. Go to gas station snack and drink.
Ooh, honestly, this isn't really DC of me. This is a little more Southern, but like I really like peanuts in the Coke. I know that's a little controversial, but like people say peanuts and Coke is like kind of a go-to, and I've been putting them in the Coca-Cola recently, and I think that's really good. So I'd say peanuts and Coke, also onion rings. That's a go-to.
I mean, that's a very interesting take. Austin Kleschko said, purple Doritos. So yeah,
Those are
honestly,
good too. That's a good
yeah.
choice.
I mean, I love the answer there. If you could only watch one sports movie for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
I would say A League of Their Own. And I've been debating like what's the best baseball movie lately, but I think A League of Their Own is so good because I don't know. The acting, the script writing, the music, all the cinematography in it, it's incredible. And I love Tom Hanks. I grew up on
Hmm.
story, so when I hear Tom Hanks, I start to think Woody the Cowboy. And he's so good in that. Everyone else is also incredible in it. And it's just a really good movie.
I'm so glad you chose that because everybody either chooses Sandlot or Major League. So I'm glad it's an offset answer relating to that. Now, this is a fun question. I really wanted to ask somebody this. As a baseball content creator, you already said Bryce Harper was your favorite player. Can you name a player that you loved a lot but was never known as a superstar, like a random MLB player?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't want to say that he wasn't known of, but Drew Storm was my guy, and he gets forgotten a lot. I'm just seeing the Cardinals jersey because the 2012 NLDS and then the 2014 NLDS. But Drew is my favorite player. I mean, one of my favorites growing up because I loved seeing him in the closer role and the way that he really embraced it. Uh, and that's what I always wanted to do growing up. I was like, not only do I want to be in the bullpen, I want to be that guy that can have it in the eighth or the ninth inning and be able to slam the door. When he got traded to Toronto, I was so upset, which I think that was a Ben Revere trade. Looking at it, thinking back at 2020, 2016. But yeah, I would say Drew is my guy. I've never gotten to talk to him or anything, but I'd love to interview him one day. Definitely one of my favorites.
I mean, Drew Storen, if you're watching this, hit up Eric on Instagram. Make sure to go follow him as well. And him and Tyler Clippard
Yes.
were the
Yes.
duo that I was afraid of in the early 2010s. And that whole rotation of Strasburg, Gonzalez, Zimmerman, it was a tough rotation to follow up with. But yeah,
Oh.
I mean that was the fun questions. I want to ask you favorite baseball moment growing up. I mean, outside of 2019, obviously, with the whole World Series and that. Actually, you can say 2019 if you want to, but favorite baseball moment growing up.
Yeah, it's one of the ones from 2019. It's either game four of the NLCS or game seven watch party. And the watch party, I was at the ballpark with my best friends from high school and Liam, and it was just incredible because I remember the whole game thinking, I'm gonna have to deal with my friend who's a big Capitals fan, and he's gonna be on the car ride back, time out. Man, we could have had this opportunity, we could have had that opportunity throughout the game. And I'm like, dude, I'll be like, no, bro, we made it all the way to the World Series. It was a great run. And then we won. I never had to deal with it. I was just running circles in my head for nothing. But clinching the pennant against the Cardinals was also really special because I didn't have the tickets until the day of. So I need to shout out my neighbors for that. And they just, came knocking on the door that day and they were like, we can't make it tonight. We're not going to be able to. Would you want to take them? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Yes, yes, I'd love to take them. So I went with my brother and that was just very unexpected to be up 3-0 in the series and then to have the tickets the day of was a very special memory.
That's absolutely insane. 2019 revolves in my head constantly on how bad we lost that 2019 NLCS. People remind me of it. I said one of my roommates a Blue Jays fan, the other one's a Nationals fan. So it's just it's bad. But I mean, congrats to you. I mean, the Blues won the Stanley Cup that season, so I was fine with that. But Eric, two final questions for you, man. I do want to ask you this because I've gotten so many perspectives from MLB players who played during the 2010s without the ABS system. From a fan's perspective, what are your thoughts on the ABS system?
It is so intriguing to watch because when you're watching on television, I think you're going through what a lot of the commentators and the players and coaches are experiencing in the dugout too, which is just the anticipation. It reminds me a lot of the tennis replay system, honestly, like the way that tennis sort of does it, because there is a textbook definition for what a strike and a ball is, but that could also be interpretive with the batting stance and the height of the players and whatnot. And tennis is they kind of rely on the shadow of the replay, which I like enjoy that aspect of it, which I think is similar to baseball in the sense like if it's clipping, it's a strike, which just watching this year has been so difficult to watch at times, but also extremely satisfying when Keibert Ruiz is able to flip a walk into a strikeout. That's exciting for me.
I mean, personally, I've mixed feelings on it just because I love the human element so much of everybody hating on guys like CB Buckner and Angel Hernandez but I mean, I love the crucial moments when say you're in the bottom of the ninth and two outs, two strikes, and you have a flip. So honestly, yeah, I mean, I just want to get your perspective on that. Now, the final big question for you, Eric. I mean, you have an illustrious resume when it comes to baseball content creation.
Thank
Biggest
you.
advice for small content creators who want to get into this for real as a sports content creator.
Honestly, just you got to get off your butt and get started. Liam helped me a lot with that, kind of having an accountability buddy over the years, a best friend that we could kind of just chase the same goals and passions at the same time. We're like, we want to visit all 30 stadiums, and we haven't gotten there yet. A lot of people ask us, like, oh, you've been to all 30 by now? No. No, if we combine it, we're close to 20 something, but that's like our big goal this summer is to keep just checking off more ballparks and I think having a team really helps, would be my advice for anyone trying to get started. Like if you have friends or other people around you that are interested in the same things that you want to go and do, whether it be baseball or sports or whatever your niche of content would be, having a team can really, really, really help you out.
I mean, I think that's very well said, and I hope a lot of sports content creators looking to start out, take this with, everything they have, do what you love. And Eric, I see that you do what you love, and I love the content, man. And thank you again so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to do this. And any big projects coming up for Bat Boys baseball in the summer?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we'll definitely be at the All-Star game in Philly in a couple of months. And I'm not sure when this is going to go live, but I think we're going to be in Chicago in a couple of weeks, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, a month into June. So hopefully that comes to fruition. It should be really exciting. And then I'm going to be participating in a trivia tournament. I don't really know how much I can say about that yet or who it's with. But you might have some ideas. So yeah, I'm going to be in a trivia tournament in July, and that will be really exciting.
I mean, everybody make sure to go look out for that. They're all-star content, stuff in Chicago, and I look forward to that trivia tournament video. But Eric, thank you again so much for your time, and I hope you have an amazing day, man.
Of course, yeah, man. You too. Thanks for having me.